evening. In honor of the Hilula of the Ben Ish Chai, which was today the 13th day of Elul, as it is customary, we're going to learn something which is in his name, meaning that he wrote. So actually we're going to choose something that he wrote, which is going to pertain to Rosh Hashanah, as well as the truth is the sefer that we're going to learn from is actually very controversial if the Ben Ish Chai actually wrote the sefer or not. The sefer is called She'elot V'Tshuvot Torah Lishma. So it's a big controversy amongst the modern Chachamim if really the Ben Ish Chai wrote that sefer or not. Chacham Yaakov Hillel writes pages and pages to prove it was. Chacham Vadia Yosef writes pages and pages to prove it wasn't. Either way, we're going to go along with assuming the fact that he did write it, and we're going to learn a very short yet interesting halakha. Again, to note, the Ben Ish Chai passed away in 1809. So, 1809? Yes, 1809. So that is 1909. Khalak, sorry. 1909. So that was 108 years ago. It's still it's been a long time. Okay. The question he asks is, why do we find in the Sidurim, which the sources back to the Arizal, that the mitzvah of Tashlich, which we'll briefly explain, is found to be done on Rosh Hashanah after Mincha, towards the end of the day. Again, Tashlich is the custom that we go to a lake, a river, a pond, or even any running water, and we make as if we're putting all of our sins and throwing it away. And some would bring bread to feed to the fish, to get rid of it. We're unloading our sins away on Rosh Hashanah. So he asks, why is it to be done after Mincha, towards sunset? Wouldn't it be better? Zrizin maktimin lamitzvot. Do it quicker. Do it right after Musaf. Make it part of the Shacharit Musaf service. Do it before Mincha. Why does it have to be after Mincha? So he answers the question with a fascinating midrash. The midrash is in Midrash Rabbah. I'll quote it to it very briefly, and it's very interesting. It says as follows. B'yom Rosh Hashanah, b'sha'ar rishona, ala b'machshava. So the midrash now is telling us, during the 6th day of creation, which we know is Rosh Hashanah. The world was created on the 25th of Elul. 6 days later is Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah, the day that Adam HaRishon was born, is attributed to be the first day of the year, Rosh Hashanah. Now, we know that in the Jewish calendar and Jewish clock, there's 12 hours in a day, and the 12 hours are not necessarily 60 minutes per hour. However, we divide it into 12. The Midrash tells us now what happened each hour of that 6th day regarding Adam HaRishon. So look at this. The first, b'sha'ar rishona ala b'machshava. The first hour, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, kivyachol, as the Mufarshim say, took the thought of creating man. Next, he conceived the thought of creating man. B'shniya nityatzi malachei hasharet. Again, that's a whole discourse in itself. But the second hour, the Midrash tells us Hashem, he seeked advice and counsel from all of the angels in heaven, if he should do it or not. Shlishi, kines afaro. The third hour, he brought all of the earth and dust that he was going to form man with, he brought it all to one specific place. Barabit gibelo, in the 4th hour, he mixed it up, and he started forming some type of paste, or that would be the easiest way to say it. B'hamishit rekamo, in the 5th, he started casting shapes into that paste. B'shishit asa'o golem, and finally, in the 6th hour, he was putting those pieces that he shaped into more, more individual pieces, and he put them all together. It was still like a mannequin, so to say. Bashevit nafach bo neshama, and on the 7th hour of the day is when HaKadosh Baruch Hu blew the soul, Ruach Hayim, into Adam HaRishon. Bashminit hichniso lagan, in the 8th hour he brought him into Eden. Batishit nitztava, on the 9th hour is when HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanded him with his mitzvot, which was primarily, do not eat from the tree of knowledge. Basirit avar, on the 10th, right away, an hour later, at the 10th hour, he already went against Adam and Hava, ate from the tree of knowledge. Ba'achat esrei nidon, and in the 11th hour, he was already judged. B'shtem esrei yatsa bedimos, which is a Roman word for he came out forgiven, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu acted above the letter of the law in mercy and forgave him. So look at this. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Midrash says, Hashem said, La'adam, to man, to Adam Arishon, Ze siman levanecha. This is going to be a sign for your descendants. Keshem she'amadta lefanai badin hayom hazeh. The same way you, Adam Arishon, you stood at the 11th hour. Between the 11th and 12th hour is when he was judged and he was actually forgiven. We know that there was a punishment, but he was forgiven. So too, v'yatzata b'dimos, kach atidin banecha la'amod lefanai badin bayom hazeh. So too, in the future, every single year, your children on the Rosh Hashanah are going to stand judgment in front. V'yotzin lefanai b'dimos. Imatai b'chodesh hashvi b'echad hachodesh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said every year on the first day of the 7th month, which counting from Nisan is Rosh Chodesh Tishrei, which is Rosh Hashanah, your children, your descendants will always stand in front of me. And this makes a lot of sense as we say the whole world is judged on Rosh Hashanah. All of mankind, not only Yehudim. And the Chesed, the Mefarshim on the Midrash explain, is really Adam Arishon was told by God, if you eat from the tree of knowledge, you will die. And therefore, Kadosh Baruch Hu judged him that he was wrong, but he gave him mercy and compassion by not killing him right away, rather letting him live how many more years?
930.
930. Supposed to be, he gave him 1,000, and he ended up only 930. So Kadosh Baruch Hu gave him 1,000. He gave him 1,000. He gave him 1,000 more years to live based on that judgment of Rosh Hashanah. Tying it up, the Ben Ish Chai says that based on this midrash, it's obvious why we keep Tashlich, which according to the Kabbalah is a very, very important part of our Rosh Hashanah service. For that time, Tashlich is when we're throwing away, we're acting as if we're doing in the motions of getting rid of all our sins of the previous year. What better time, he writes, to do it by the last hour of the day of Rosh Hashanah, which when Adam Arishon was judged, he came out with mercy and compassion and successful. And this is how he answers why, in all the Sidurim, in the proper tradition, is to do Tashlich after Mincha, right while the sun is setting, which is the end of the day, the same time Adam Arishon was judged. B'ezrat Hashem, we will all be judged favorably by Kadosh Baruch Hu. We have to judge others favorably in order for Kadosh Baruch Hu to judge us favorably. And we'll be able to fill this mitzvah of Tashlich, B'ezrat Hashem, and B'ezrat Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send us Mashiach Tzidkenu B'Rav Amenu. Amen.